Hi, this is The Mirror with Sarah and Ryan, and we are two friends trying to heal and create community together with the magic of tarot and energy healing. This is your time to reflect and receive, so let's get into it. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Yeah, trying to heal, working at it. Sometimes it feels like we get somewhere, sometimes it's harder.
I completely feel you. I don't know about you, but like last time we talked about being stuck, and then this
Mhm.
time, like the past few weeks, I've realized, oh, I'm ready to move forward, but my body isn't. Like my body is holding on to, I guess, fear of like these big changes and like big things happening. So I'm like, ooh, do I actually want to take the big jump?
It's so interesting that you frame it like that because I feel like I'm the same but opposite, if that makes sense. So my body knows, my body is like, bitch, it's time. It's time. And my mind is like, what do you mean? This is all I know. What I can't possibly change. And my body, all the wisdom in my body is telling me it's time to change. It's time to change. So it's a really painful place to be in our journey. I just want to acknowledge that for both of us as well, and for anyone listening, that is a really painful place to be. Is to know that change is coming. You're ready for change. You don't know what it's going to look like yet. And even though you might be ready for change on a physical level or intellectually, like if it's not matching, or if there's a mismatch, or if your heart's not ready yet, whatever it is, like, it's a really painful place to be. So we're just out here trying. But I think we can totally focus our tarot reading and energy healing today on knowing that it's safe to change, it's safe to let go, it's safe to make room to grow and expand, and what we can do, and be curious about what we can do to support ourselves through these changes.
Totally. I think that's so interesting that we have both perspectives here. So that's why it's fun to heal together in community because it's like, well, we're gonna feel it all.
Honestly, it's so fun to heal in community. It makes a very lonely, isolating process feel somehow like more light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes sense. And also, when you hear somebody struggling with something you're struggling with, or you see yourself reflected in us or in each other, it's just so comforting. And yeah, I'm happy to jump into a tarot reading now and kind of give us another reflection on what we're experiencing. So
I am
I'm
ready.
just
Let's get to it.
I'm just shuffling my cards now. I'm not sure if you're picking that up on the mic, but just take this moment to feel a part of you that's touching something solid, like your feet on the floor, maybe your bottom in your seat. And we're just going to be open today, asking these tarot cards for a reflection on kind of what we've talked about today, on being safe to heal and grow and change. Okay, so I've pulled three cards for us here, and they're pretty fascinating already, actually. So the first one we got is the Tower. That is the Tower card, everybody. So if you've seen this before, maybe you haven't, the tarot card, the Tower, is sometimes one of the more difficult ones to get in the deck because it is a card of complete change and upheaval. Um, there is this tower, it's being struck by lightning, the crown, its symbol of authority, just topples, and the tower is about to wash away into the sea below. So all of us experience tower moments at certain points in our lives, usually at transition periods. For example, like even just going through the COVID-19 pandemic was a tower moment back in March 2020 when we realized things were going to seriously change. This is the energy of things that seemed solid, seemed like a foundation, all of a sudden just don't exist. It's just washed away, vanished in the blink of an eye. And it leaves you, like in this case, it leaves you like hopeless, directionless. It leaves you without anything. And that is just a shock. It's a shock to the system, literally a shock to your nervous system. and it's destabilizing, incredibly destabilizing. So if this is something from your past, or if this is something you're currently going through, just know that these destabilizing moments happen. We survive them, and eventually they do lead to new things, new changes. This foundation, this tower, wasn't meant to last forever. It wasn't meant to last forever, especially not for you. If you're here today, and it's not for you. You're exceptional. Your life is huge. You have amazing things you're here to pursue, and you're basically, well, you're too big for this tower. You're too big. There, you need more room to expand. So you got to demolish before you can rebuild. And that's easy to say. It's not easy to experience in your body. Fair enough. Fair enough. The next card in our reading is the King of Wands. The King of Wands. So wands, sort of fire, passion, creativity, and desire. So once this tower has eroded away, this tower that represented kind of our old life, if you will. Once that's away, what's going to emerge is the version of ourselves that's so confident, so powerful, and so committed to what it's here to bring. It has a kind of like a desire. This aspect of you has a desire that it's here to bring into the world, from something you feel deep down into fully realized actual thing. So this could be related to your life purpose. This could be related to a creative project you're working on, or even just it could be a new way of creating yourself. I used to be a total night owl in university. I would sometimes stay up to like 4 a.m. before I went to sleep for like really no good reason. And I decided I wanted to be a morning person. And today I wake up at like 6:30 with no alarm. I go to the gym in the mornings. I made that. I made that. Somebody handed that to me, and that is this aspect of yourself that's coming forward now. The aspect of yourself that can create who it wants to be. It's so passionate and so driven, and so certain of what it wants. This is a crow, and in my hometown, the crows are so, like, it's just their city. I'm living here. They're so like bold and brash and take up so much space. So I really want you to see yourself in this character that's just so confident and sure of itself, and sure of the message it's here to share and bring. And then finally, the last card we got is the Eight of Coins, or Eight of Pentacles. So this tells me that in the future, if we're going through this journey, kind of accepting and processing our tower moment, allowing this aspect of ourselves that we see in the King of Wands to come forward, but that's just going to lead to a lot of success and confidence and clarity in this realm. The realm of Coins and Pentacles is kind of related to career, work, the skills that we have that we use to bring money into our house. It represents our financial security and situation. And because it's this suit is tied to the element of earth, it also represents like our physical material reality, right? So our homes, the place that we live in. And in the eight, we basically become such a master of our craft that we're the only one of our kind in the world that can do what we do. And it's divine. We put a piece of ourselves into our creations, and these creations just flow from us because we have this divine relationship with our work, where we're just kind of like, it just kind of drips out of us, or kind of fruits off of us so effortlessly, because we're living our purpose and we're doing what we're here to do, right? That's what came up. Just kind of looking at these cards really briefly. I'll just quickly summarize them again. We got Tower moment, sudden change, big upheaval. To help you through that, and what's going to come out of the ashes is this version of yourself that's so powerful and committed to bringing its creative desires and passion to life. And all that's going to lead to is success for you in the realm of the Pentacles, and probably even recognition for the work that you do. That's what came up for me. Do you have any questions for me about that, Ryan? How did that land for you?
The tower made me laugh so hard. I mean, like, duh. I I think I really needed to hear that it's all going to work out, and the crow and the King of Wands, right? King of Wands, and
Yeah.
the eight of Pentacles just really made me think like, okay, this feels good. Can I ask you to pull one more card about our body and how we can like support it during this time?
Yeah. So, like, considering this transition, considering that we want to allow this new version of ourselves that can express its passion out, and we want to kind of form a more divine relationship with our material reality. How can we support our bodies through this change, through this process? We got the Two of Wands. Two of Wands, so more leaning into what feels good. And if you know me, you know that I'm headed to my Eras Tour concert very soon. And my life has just been like, the only thing I want to do is sit at my desk and make my friendship bracelets and watch Taylor Swift music videos, or maybe watch Miss Americana again or something. This is what I love to do. And this is the hours fly by. So to support your body right now, do what lights you up and makes you feel like you're living on purpose and inspired. So it's going to look different for everybody. In this card, she has two wands and she's kind of balancing them in each hand, and she's kind of like letting her passion and desire lead the way. And she's like, "Ooh, that feels really good." But you know, if I sit at my desk for 3 hours, then my back starts to get sore, and so maybe I have to stand, or maybe I can just take a break from the bracelets. Right? It's kind of figuring out a balance that works for you. So essentially, my advice would be to support your body this time by leaning into those things that light you up. It could be that your body just needs to have fun and needs to remember that it's supposed to be fun, and we're allowed to like we're allowed to have pleasure and experience joy and pleasure in our lives and in our bodies. So that's what came up around that.
That's such a cute card. That's so fun. Um, I think I needed to hear all of that. I needed to hear have the pleasure, have the fun. Things are going to work out. I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting emotional. Just like I think, theoretically we all know this. Like I know in the back of my head everything's going to work out. I don't know if I always I believe it, but it's like well I have to force it to. I have to do all this work.
Yeah,
And
we're very smart. There's no question here of not being able to logicize or analyze our way out of this. Logically, we know things are going to be okay.
yeah.
It's just like we can't feel it,
Mhm.
or for me, I can't feel it. I can tell
Mhm.
my body it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. Relax. My body is just like, yeah, I don't trust you. I'm doing my own thing.
How did these cards feel for you?
Um, it's not nice to see the Tower card come up in a tarot spread, especially when you're trying to get some answers for something that's really tough. It's tough. It's really tough to see. But I always say tarot's very sassy, or tarot will kind of like it's kind of like the tough talking friend, you know. So it's true. It's true. I don't really want to admit that I'm going through a tower moment transition of like sudden change, and you know that the change in the tower card can be like violently destabilizing. It can be so hard. So it's really tough to face, but I think maybe a part of me needs to hear that as well, and needs to see myself in this and be like, look, this is a time of big change. Whether or not I'm prepared for it, whether or not I like it, it's here. And that's what accounts for how I'm feeling. It would be weird to not feel ungrounded in a time of big change, actually, when I think about it, right? Um, it's nice to see this Knight of Wands come up too, because I think it's easy to get disconnected from your what you're passionate about when you're living this 3D world, trying to like pay your bills and stuff, right? We get disconnected from the reason why we do all of this. But how do you think this could kind of inform what we do for energy healing next?
Well, first off, what you said, like, of course there's gonna be some ungroundedness and like some destabilization because this is a tower moment. And maybe even just kind of like accepting that and like allow and being like, oh body, like this is what's going on. I think a little bit of that. I think something around like letting the foundation go away so we can build fresh and anew. Um, I really feel like this is going to be one of those that is like inspired in the moment and I receive like divine inspiration on the healing because I feel like there might be something around pleasure or even allowing yourself to be passionate and know that you're going to be successful. But is there anything specific that you want to touch on in the healing?
No, I think that all sounds good. I would love something that's a bit more focused on releasing rather than like calling in, because in my personal physical body, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of messages, everyone's talking, a lot of chatter. So releasing would be great. And I am gonna like receive your energy healing, and just so everyone knows, if you're watching, like yawning, burping, stretching, rubbing your neck, do whatever you need to do to help facilitate this and release it. Looks silly, feels great. Um, Thanks so much, Ryan.
Yeah, that was, I think, us doing some tarot or some tower moment energy healing, I think it's needed to like say that, like move your body, do what feels good. And then if it does feel a little too strong, take a break, go for a walk. Or you can try to breathe through and see what's on the other side. Again, not a doctor. Please always, seek medical advice and attention if you need. And energy healing is not a substitute. Always, always if you're at a mental health therapist and all that stuff. But it can help support your body during a trying time. So let's get to it. Start to feel where your body is touching something solid. You can move. And again, yeah, like you don't need to sit still for this. You can please move if it feels good. I'm going to wrap us up in a big bubble of light. Pink, no. Blue, no. Red. Also, it could be whatever color you want, but for right now, red feels good, which is a lot of like root stabilization energy. And so we have that boundary set for only our highest, most loving, joyful, peaceful, kindest, successful, best and highest good and divine line order can come through this bubble. And then we thank our spirit team. We thank the earth. We thank those who have stewarded the land that we're on. And we ask both the land or the earth and our spirit team to be with us now to help us release what we need to release, heal what we need to heal, shift what we need to shift, receive what we need to receive in a way that works best for your own mind, body, spirit in a complete way, in a gentle way. Set your intention now. I'm going to connect to your energy. Ooh. Okay. I'm in and I see a lot of fragments. We can release it. Ooh, that just took my breath away. I think from what I'm feeling, it feels like the foundation has already been rocked and now there's a lot of debris that we need to release. And so just know, I'm getting emotional, just know that like without even realizing you've done this hard work, you've been experiencing this tower moment. So like be gentle with yourself right now. Be gentle with your past self for the past week or two, months even. And we're just going to put some gloves on, some safe, thick gloves. And we're going to really remove any of these fragments that can go, are ready to go. putting it in like one of those really strong construction trash bags. Then we're going to give it to the angels to release, to do whatever they want with. And you can visualize this with me, or you can, just go along for the ride. And I'm really seeing like glass, shards of glass. And so half of me thinks that maybe like some sort of vision has been broken, like there was something like a false sense of something that also might have broken. And that happened to me, right? Like I thought this thing, and then I was like, oh, that's actually shattered. Now I have to build something else. So we're just going to take all those shards, and again we have those thick gloves so we can easily just handle them. And just know that we are releasing old patterns, old beliefs, things that could be past, it could be ancestral, it could be societal, it could be current life, generational. And then we're going to take this big magnet, and anything else that can go can really just be magnetized and stick to this big magnet. I see some of us trying to hold on to some of these things, and you don't have to let go if you're not ready to. If you are ready to, let's release it. And again, you can always release it and ask for it back. You could also release it 1% and see how that feels. It's not forever if you don't want it to be. Ooh. I'm also I've heard this a few times during this session, and it's glass ceiling. And typically, the glass ceiling is about women in the workforce, but this, and you keep hitting this glass ceiling, and you can't break through. But what I'm feeling for this now is that we shattered that ceiling for ourselves, for whatever it is, and that's uncomfy too. So because I'm now bringing debris and shards of glass from like the top. Before it was around us, it was on the ground, it was like on our peripherals, but now it's from above us. So I think even with the tarot cards, we will have success. We will have more success than we even thought we knew of. And so we had to like break this layer. So again, industrial size trash bag. We're just putting the shards in it, any other debris. And while we're doing this, we're also nourishing the body. We are also saying like, hey body, there was a lot of shakeup. This is helping us ground. This is helping us, feel safer where we're at. Feel safer moving forward. More, yes. Okay, so we're going to take another magnet and just let things come to it. Another way I like to think of this is vibrationally. If we are upping our vibrations, then we can attract the lower, heavier things that we no longer need to this magnet. Ooh. Okay, that feels very clear and free. Let's just rain on on ourselves, on this image, on our in our aura, all of it, a bright white light to really clear up any extra gunk, to really, sink into our cells, heal anything that needs to be healed, energize and empower what needs to be energized and empowered. Sarah, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. How you doing? Okay, in the middle. So before we ground, let's just sit with ourselves. Imagine that rain going over your body, really filling each and every cell, in between the cells. This is energy of hope, of nourishment, of support. We're filling in all the spaces of things we released, filling them up with love, support, nourishment, hope, success, peace. Okay. Now I want you to think about the thing that you know is going to change your life. Like, you know, our foundation has been destroyed in a harsh word, and now we're building up a new foundation. What does that look like? What is changing in your life? Before, we felt this fear and anxiety either in our mind or in our body, but I want you to picture it now and see how you feel. And it is so okay if there's still some anxiety. Like, I just thought of mine and I was like, "Ugh," but it's not as strong as it was. And there's still some excitement there. Even if it's just taking one step towards the thing your vision, just taking one step. Okay. And then last thing before we ground, I want you to imagine you are that image in the Two of Wands. And it's that little pink dress, the two little wands in her hands. So this is your inner child. And I want you to imagine and connect and like what brings you pleasure? What would be good for you to do right now to help support your body, to support this new vision, to support yourself from this tower moment? I see some swimming. I don't know if that's for anyone else, if it's for me. Our beaches are currently closed because of bacteria in the water. So, like, don't know how that's going to work, but it could be a nap. It could be put on a frilly dress, dance, make your Taylor Swift bracelet, friendship bracelets. Okay. And I want you to give yourself a big hug. Really notice your arms, your hands on your arms. Feel that support. I want you to take some few deep breaths and also feel where your body's touching something solid. I'm feeling some stuff come up here. I'm just going to release it. I don't even think I need to name it, but we just released it. I think we really need a lot of body support right now going through this time. We did all this heavy energy healing and energetic work and spirit work, but now as we're coming back to our bodies, it feels a little like it needs some support. So make sure to go on a walk if you can do that, do some yoga, some stretches, take a bath, touch yourself again, just hold yourself, really show your body that you are safe in this. And it was stressed for a reason. You were going through a tower moment, and it might still be wobbly in the upcoming weeks and months or whatever, and that you're here for it. And then now we know that what's going on, we can better show up for ourselves. Okay, I want you to imagine you are hugging a tree. Really feel that earth energy. Really feel the ground beneath your feet. I want you to imagine a bright white light at the base of your spine, filling your pelvis. That light flows down your legs, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, your feet. Maybe you feel a slight pulse or a tingle at the soles of your feet. It's okay if you don't. And then your feet open up and imagine two thick roots going down, 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 deep into the center of the earth. And then your roots go out in all directions. Something new I'm doing is I want you to imagine like a crystal, if you're into crystals, that feels good. Maybe you just know the color. And imagine a crystal being in that earth and you're wrapping another root around that. So I would suggest maybe perhaps a black crystal, tourmaline, black tourmaline, or onyx to really help ground us. And then we're going to wrap ourselves in a bubble of light. Let's shake our body real quick, help get anything else out that needs to be released. I think some stretching is definitely needed after today's session. And then we are going to thank the earth, thank our spirit team. Please continue to allow us to gently and completely heal, shift, release what's best for our mind, body, and spirit. And I want us to take 2 deep breaths, and I want you to really sigh out. So breathe in. one more time. I'm going to disconnect our energy, send your energy back to you, pull it back to me. Okay, there we go. How you feel?
Thank you. Yeah, I feel exhausted. I feel absolutely exhausted. Pretty much from the get-go when you started, it's just hyper awareness of how fast I've been dragging my body along, and to finally give the body like a moment to release and receive was just, I just feel like I'm like 30 years older than I really am. So I'm definitely going to be like taking it easy for the rest of the day, maybe eat some nourishing foods, back off the coffee. And I've just been drinking water like a mofo. I'm going to continue to do that. Yeah, there's not like necessarily like crying, but like a lot of like water stuff, water moving in my face. Like I've got like sinus pressure now, and like my eyes were watering as I was yawning and yawning. So there's definitely lots of stuff moving. And I really liked what you talked about in the tower card, or sorry, in the visualization about the shards and stuff. And there's all these like kind of like confetti shards flying around like shrapnel in the tower card. It just makes sense. But like on a more hopeful note, when you talked about like looking now at the crumbled away foundation, when I looked, actually there was like still a really like good sized plug there. I was like, oh, I'm not starting from nothing. I'm never starting from nothing. And isn't that so? It ended up being not as bad as I was worried about. Story of my life.
I love that. I actually needed to hear that too. You aren't starting from nothing. There's something there. Even, yeah, that makes me emotional. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Um, Definitely for anyone, please drink lots of water. Energy healing burns up fluid. It does move fluid. So make sure to put some like electrolytes in your water. Do some stretches. This energy healing was a lot. It took it out of me as well as someone who was also receiving it. And we'll have some resources in the show notes if you need some like extra energetic support. There's some resources that we'll share. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes from this. Like our last episode, so much shifted for me. And this was the next step, the next evolution for me. And I don't know, we'll see what happens in our next session.
It's a big step too. So good job. Good job, us.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for this, and thanks for listening and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.